You get today, and then you and Preston get to do a special show tomorrow to celebrate my birthday. I hope you're. That's right. While I'm gone.
Oh, I didn't realize that we were doing that if you're not here.
No, tomorrow's show all about celebrating me, even though I'm not even here. So there's your listening schedule.
How about you listen and see if that really happens?
I am going to take the kids to school on my birthday.
So, what hour will that be in? We'll make sure we get folks chiming in.
7 roughly. We'll call it 6:50 to roughly 7, about 8 o'clock. Because I'll listen post kids. I'll keep listening.
We'll make sure we have the audience chiming in during that time period.
803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. Preston, let's get back into this just for a minute, because I think this is what everybody's going to want to discuss here about, not the buffet conversation, although I do want to go back into that. Your days, you had Charlie Strong as your defensive line coach.
Yes.
I asked you yesterday.
At the beginning of my career, yes.
Yeah. What is the difference? Because everybody's going to say, well, just give the whole defensive line to Travian Robertson. Just give the whole defensive line. What is the difference between coaching the interior tackles and coaching the ends, the bucks?
Yeah, it's a total different focus and technique-wise and emphasis on what you're trying to do throughout the week. Fundamentally, the defensive ends, depending on what the scheme is, they're trying to work on maybe rushing the passer a little bit more. Maybe they're holding the point of attack. They're not taking on as many double teams. There's different block recognitions. I know this all sounds like mumbo jumbo, and I kind of hate when we get this down into the week.
No, I love it. This is especially on a Tuesday.
Yeah, so if we're gonna go there, let's go there. If you're playing in the interior tackle, say if you're the nose guard in the 3 technique for these purposes, you usually focus on center and guard. So it's usually 3-on-2. And within that 3-on-2, there's a lot of different blocking schemes that can happen. There can be mostly you'll get down blocks, you get double teams, you might get some interior pulling. And those are all things that interior guys have to recognize. Whereas your defensive ends, they don't have to have as much block recognition. They'll probably either get a reach block or a down block, and that'll be the extent of what they'll have to do. Also, they don't have to take on as many double teams. And quite frankly, they just don't have to be as tough. Those are the edge guys are the pretty boys of the defensive line. So they don't want to really touch a lot of people. They want to make a lot of sacks. They want to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities. The real workers are the inside, 100%.
So you've got to have what you're saying. I'm interested in this. What is the biggest thing Travian Robertson teaches this defensive line, these young guys? Because, you've got your Alex Hunleys who've been around for a long time. But what's the biggest thing that you've seen that has to change to stop the run? Because South Carolina, if we're being blunt about it, has not stopped the run in 2 years.
You can be blunt about it. You can be statistical about it. You can be observant about it. However you want to slice it, it hasn't happened for 2 years, and I think that is a big thing that has held this defense back from really going to the next level. And so the biggest thing that Travian brings is an understanding of how to play the position, because he played the position. Oftentimes, coaches will instruct players on how to do things when they haven't actually done them. And so they work in theory, but they don't ever work in practice. And sometimes you're telling the coach, like, I know this is what the textbook says, this is what the teaching tape says, but what do I do when maybe I'm overmatched by a double team? How do I survive this? Or what do I do when maybe I happen to take a false step, because we're all human and we will? How do I correct that? So there's a lot of nuance that somebody who played the position and excelled at the position will be able to teach those players. Whereas sometimes a coach who hasn't necessarily played the position, they don't even have to be good.
Right.
But when you play the position, you have a little bit more of a understanding of what you can do, especially when things go wrong.
It's odd with this hire because universally it seems accepted.
Yeah.
Like how many other defensive line, I guess I say defensive tackle coaches, what we're referring to, do we know? Like, we know Brad Lawing, but I don't think he's looking to get back in the game. So it's strange because you get these people on message boards or Twitter or whatever social media who want to go out there and be like, oh, we should have hired so-and-so. Well, it's all that is a Google search of who's got the top run defense.
Yeah, because nobody knows really what's going on in there.
No, they don't. And that's why I ask you. So you're scheming Clayton White's system with the teachings of, say, a Jimmy Lindsey or now a Travian Robinson. What is the connection there between what Clayton White wants to do and what Travian Robinson or Jimmy Lindsey or any defense, like, how does that mesh?
That was probably, I'm sure, the biggest question, because my assumption of the hiring process was this is somebody that Shane brought to Clayton. And he was saying, hey, this is a guy, I have a guy in mind. What do y'all think? Then Clayton and Travian probably had a discussion. This is what I like. This is what I do. Can you get this done? Is what I do philosophically opposed 100% to what you think? They probably have some conversations, and there's going to be some middle ground on what they're trying to do. As far as Clayton White's scheme, to be honest, we have not stopped the run in 2 years.
No, we haven't.
We don't. Now, I think we're going to get a chance to see. It's like a science experiment where you just remove a variable. Now we're going to remove the previous defensive line coach, and we're going to see if was that the issue? Is it going to be maybe that wasn't the issue? Maybe it was the scheme that was the issue. We get a chance to plug and play and see what was the actual problems. I anticipate that the defensive line will be better. I anticipate that they'll do a better job stopping the run, but that's going under the assumption that there was some things that could be improved as far as coaching. We don't know. That's still left to see.
That's your truly sporty sports talk.
That was.
I like it. You've broken down the defense up because
I even got my football hands going a little bit there.
That we have done the sporty sports talk this morning to really analyze. It is interesting. If South Carolina wants to take a step forward, they do have to play better at the defensive line.
There's no doubt about that.
Real quick, because I've never done this with you, and I'm not. I enjoy the sporty sports talk, but there's other topics I was going to get to, especially in the 6 a.m. hour that we like to cut. What have you seen truly from the defense? Like when you watch a game, are you watching? Does your eyes? I think you asked Tony Annan this one time. Like, can you watch a soccer match and enjoy it as a fan? For you, do your eyes instantly go to the defensive line?
Yeah, 100%. That's pretty much where I spend the majority of the time. And you'll find a majority of former players, they'll watch the ball wherever they played. And so they'll have that perspective on the team. From what I saw last year, they didn't do a great job of holding the point of attack. And what that means is where the ball is hitting the holes on the line of scrimmage. I don't think they were, just got to be honest, I don't think they were especially tough up front as far as.
Hold up. When you say that, I've questioned the strength and conditioning program that leads into the season. I think once they get into the season, they start hitting other teams, they're hitting kind of each other, they become tougher. But when you say you didn't think they were especially tough up front, is that because of the strength and conditioning? Is that because of the coaching? Is that because of the scheme?
This is where, again, we're going to have to play this sort of science experiment. We've removed one variable, what was the previous coaching. Now we're still left with those two variables. They still have the same strength coach. They still have the same defensive coordinator. If the results are still the same, then I think maybe we can point to one of those two things as being an issue. They're plenty strong enough. So I don't know if it's a physical conditioning thing. They're plenty strong enough. They look as if they could play inside. I just think that for Zach Pickens to be a third round draft pick, that means teams in the NFL thought that he was worthy of basically walking in and being a first day starter on an NFL roster.
Okay.
I don't think we ever really saw that from him here at South Carolina. And what I'm wondering, what is the disconnect between what his physical talent is as graded by the NFL guys and what we saw him produce on a college football field?
For everybody out there who said you guys talk too much buffets, you talk too much 90s sitcoms, Jen, I don't care whatever it takes. Let's make sure we get that segment pulled. That is as sporty as sports talk can get.
I have it.
I'm sweating.
That is, yeah. I mean, we have analyzed the defensive line beyond belief. That right there is sports talk radio at its absolute finest.
We did it.
Just breaking up. We'll change gears in a minute. We'll completely go back to the buffet talk because the more that I brought this up yesterday, and I want to revive. I know it's not draft week. But I want to revive because many different takes here. Your number one buffet growing up.
Oh, yes.
It can be barbecue. It can be Chinese. It can just be regular. 803-404-6100. I want your
draft pick.
Your number one draft pick. Your number one and I want your number one item on that buffet. Because I had people coming up yesterday. Can anybody beat the Quincy's yeast rolls? There were people going yesterday. When the family went, we just ate. I mean, I was being stopped in the street. People I didn't even know. Just hey, good segment this morning. Wanted to hear Quincy's yeast rolls, Western steer chicken tenders.
I have a take, Bill. It's scorching. We
have more than broken down the defensive line and Travian Robertson this morning.
That's all you get.
We'll have some. I'll have some interview. We'll have some notes after his interview when we can break down maybe if he has a special catchphrase that he uses, what's his demeanor, what's his suit game like. We'll have some more of that, but that's about all we got to do.
No. Defensive line coaches don't wear suits, right?
Well, no, Travian does not strike me as that guy. His neck might be too wide for.
You just go straight to what you've got. I call the coach's pullover.
Coach's pullover.
I don't have one of those. The coach's pullover.
Got to have a coach's pullover. It works in a lot of different situations.
803-404-6100. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say? Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. At 803-404-6100. Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
If you've seen them, you need to call me. Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. If you're seeing weeds in your yard, let Midlands Landscape help you get rid of them. When you sign up for our Midlands Green Treatment Program, our lawn experts will give your turf the fertilization it needs while conquering the weeds, ensuring that your lawn will be green and lush. So give us a try. Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Schedule an appointment today at hateweeds.com. That's hateweeds.com.
Give Mom a time out with special gift card savings at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. Get a free facial gift card when you purchase a spa package. Search for the location nearest you to explore their exclusive online gift card sales.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Jerry Jeudy has gone from the trading block to a fairly secure future in Denver. On Monday, the Broncos picked up the 2024 fifth-year option on the receiver after he set career highs in catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns last season. Browns left tackle Jedrick Wills and Panthers defensive lineman Derek Brown also had their fifth-year options picked up. Despite starting every game since the Ravens made him a first-round pick in 2020, linebacker Patrick Queen had his fifth-year option declined by Baltimore. He'll now be a free agent after this season. Elsewhere, as if the Chiefs' offense needed any help, it looks like they'll get it anyway. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reports Kansas City is expected to re-sign free agent running back Jerick McKinnon, who scored 10 total touchdowns for the Super Bowl champs last season. The Bills are also adding a veteran back, signing Latavius Murray to a one-year deal. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today during Staples free tech take-back, rewards members get $10 in Staples rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Have a passion for serving children and families? Apply to become a child welfare case manager at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for another First Alert traffic update. As we've seen around the region early on again, it's another day where things have remained calm in terms of traffic flows. Nothing out there with confirmed collisions, anything causing major problems for those early morning commuters. But of course, keep listening along. We'll make sure to keep you posted. Thanks for listening, of course, in general. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
We have so many good texters, especially early in the morning like this. You get up and you get going with us, and I appreciate each and every one of you for joining in each and every morning.
Absolutely.
Especially, again, bright and early. Todd, Richard, they're two of our more loyal texters on our Firehouse Subs text line. I enjoy each of them, but Todd might have crossed the line because I don't know what to do with what he says. With the first pick in the 2023 National Buffet Draft, the winner, I think he means the first pick, is mayonnaise-based barbecue from Dreamland Barbecue in Tuscaloosa. Mayonnaise-based.
That Alabama white sauce, man. Don't knock it till you've had it.
I agree. And I've heard of Dreamland before.
Oh, it's delicious. Todd's right.
I've never been there. I've heard of it.
Best story. We went to Tuscaloosa in I went
04?
2000. I think I went 2000.
2000 we went.
I'm trying to think. Phil Petty got hurt the week prior. I think that was the Mississippi State game. He got hurt. I want to say Kimry started the game, threw an interception in the end zone. We had a guy running in the back of the end zone that was open. Kimry couldn't get it over. I think one of their stud linebackers.
Yeah.
And then we came back. Derek Watson started playing an amazing second half, had a catch going away from where I was sitting. Stadium's been rebuilt, but it was phenomenal. And then they had a long run late in that game.
Which Alabama, by the way, most underwhelming stadium in the SEC, at least at the time. Haven't been back.
It was really neat. It was
cool, but it was just like, oh.
I went back for the Mark Ingram game.
Okay.
Whatever it was, where they just snapped it to him, basically like, you can't stop our Wildcat formation. That was that was also the Spurrier 4 fades to Alshon game where Spurrier's like, it's gonna work. We just got to keep trying it.
All right.
But Todd, I went to Dreamland. We went to Dreamland, and I agree with him. It's a shack. It is literally they Outback have people with mops with buckets stirring the sauce.
Fair enough.
And we went, and basically the guy looked at us, the four of us, the three other people I had with us, and was like, y'all are tourists. You're here for the football game. Ribs. Or I think he had one sandwich in there. And then they brought you the loaf of bread and the little cups of sauce, and it was delicious. But the mayonnaise-based, I feel like that would create a riot because normally you're doing mustard or vinegar-based, right? Am I right on that vinegar?
Mm-hmm.
Down here.
And I feel like
yes.
But in Alabama, is the mayonnaise base the winner?
I mean, I actually never made the connection as the Alabama white sauce in that deal, but when in Alabama, do as the Alabamans do. I'm fine with that. No problem.
He's got. I mean, he's a very loyal.
That's a very risky trick. That's a very risky pick.
It's a very risky is what. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I don't know if we're ready this morning. I still feel like we have just a little to get to before going full-fledged barbecue sauces with people because
no, that's not. That's
honestly, if anybody was thinking properly, maybe it's out there. I haven't seen it, but you go into Traditions or you go into places like that, and they've got the House Divided Carolina Clemson license plates. If you could probably have in this state
sauces divided.
Sauces divided.
Yeah, we can't do that this one. Let's stick with buffets because that's not. We can't do it.
That's probably a June or July topic.
Yes.
Right around 4th of July, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Preparing.
I don't know. It might be the final 2 weeks. Last week we did 3 full days on smokers.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, you were here. Remember that was Patrick and I three. Yeah, I can understand. I totally get it.
I actually missed that.
Troy on our live stream just goes with Red Lobster biscuits are still fire 20 years later. Those biscuits, they sell them in stores now.
They do. And the box mix is pretty good. I've tried it.
Really?
See, unfortunately, I had to miss a couple of days last week, but I'm not gonna because we still have plenty more drafts to have. So I'm gonna hold that in there. But let's just say the Cheddar Bay biscuits are very viable. Let's just say they would not be Will Levis. They will not be left to the second round of the draft. They'll be snapped up pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to follow the lead. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to do here. Ryan says South Carolina is the only state you can divide with barbecue sauce, mustard, ketchup, and vinegar based.
Mm-hmm.
Brad's already offended. He's fired up. 640. Just where in the bleep are you from? Whole hog barbecue method was invented in South Carolina. I don't think I said that. I don't think we argued that.
Bill, I'm telling you.
We're not ready.
Don't follow this. Don't do it.
We're going down. We're going down.
Don't do it.
All right. So send in your number one buffet.
We don't do politics. We don't do religion. We don't do barbecue sauces.
We'll get into it one day. You better be prepared. There's going to be a July day. We just go down that path. DC says, "Are you talking past or present buffet?" I'm talking.
We're talking buffets of your time here on Earth.
Jen, obviously you weren't
past
here.
or present.
You weren't here yesterday. I took the kids this past weekend to a seafood buffet, and we at the time discovered my kids don't truly understand what a buffet is. Not like I can't speak for you, so I'll let you speak for yourself. Not like Preston and I did. I've been growing up, Quincy's and Western Steer in Lexington, where we're at. The First Reliance Bank has taken over the property now and has their big building where the Western Steer was. Quincy's is now, I believe, a seafood restaurant in Lexington and still the same building. But you had great buffets. I don't feel like kids these days are experiencing the great buffet. Your kids are a little bit younger. They're early 20s. Did the Jensen family make a weekly trip to a buffet? Mom was tired of cooking. You had a bad day with the equipment that our engineer never gets. You just were like, you threw your hands in the air and said, "Everybody, sweet tea and whatever you want on the buffet," because that's the go-to drink too, by the way, right?
1000%.
Okay, yeah.
Which is challenging for those of us who don't drink sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
Northerner.
I know. I mean, seriously.
We had the foreigner in here last Friday, Tony Ann, and now we got the Northerner who doesn't drink sweet tea. But was the Jensen family, because you're at that age where I'm starting to think kids have lost touch with the or your kids are at that age where they lost touch with the buffet?
Honestly, I can only think of maybe 2 times. One was on a vacation and one was a baseball end of season dinner. I don't ever remember taking them to a buffet.
So let me get
Jen's
this straight.
the problem. That right there is the face of our problem.
Riding
if you
bikes,
look at the live stream,
riding bikes and buffets have gone the way of the dodo.
And my kids knew how to ride bikes. We taught them at an early age because I feel like that's an important thing to learn. Bill,
This is interesting. I honestly couldn't see my childhood without buffets. This is pretty wild.
see, and I don't ever remember going to one with
maybe
we
it's-
would go
maybe it's
like to a
region
Sunday
specific.
brunch
Mhm,
buffet. I
mhm.
guess so. That's probably
That's
more.
probably that's
but, like,
along the
never-
lines.
Yeah, because we'd go up to the suburbs and there was a real nice harp playing. It was a lovely. I had to be all ladylike and so yeah, it happens. But as far as like going to a buffet where there's meat and potatoes and stuff like that, I barely remember any of that.
there's our problem
We-
over in that studio.
We're
You
just
see
doing some
this?
research here.
Because it got brought up last night. When did you move to Lexington?
A long time ago, like
All right,
94.
fine. We will define a long time ago for you. For Lexington folk, because this got brought up to me last night, and I agreed. Heights barbecue, Heights buffet, Sunday tradition. Do you know Heights in Lexington?
I do.
Were you around for that? You had both the dairy bar, the little dairy bar.
Dairy bar.
Oh, it was, and then you had the restaurant now where I think it's the Rite Aid is at. I'm not even sure there's a. Oh no, excuse me. There's a Murphy's Car Wash. Murphy's Car Wash is taken
No, I
over.
honestly I never went. Apparently, that was sacrilegious to say.
803-404-6100. Jen is the reason the buffet has fallen off in our country. You can blame her. I'll get to some of these text messages. A lot of y'all are weighing in. Ray just gives also one of the hot takes of the morning. It's true. Thought Shoney's breakfast buffet was killer back in the day, but now I think it would literally kill me.
Their salad bar was good.
There is something to that. There is something to that.
I'm with Ray on that. 803-404-6100. Jeff says back in the day, Shoney's breakfast buffet was the best. Dinner you couldn't beat. Hometown buffet. There you go. Yeah, you got
good picks. Good picks.
Shoney.
Shoney's breakfast buffet with the French toast sticks. How many of them can I fit on my plate?
And then you have to get some scrambled eggs, but you have to put gravy on it.
Ooh, let's go. Go for it.
You don't get the biscuits and gravy, but don't have the biscuit. Just put the gravy on the eggs.
Go.
AMAC Piccadilly and was forced to eat everything on my plate at 12.
Well, here's the discrepancy. Piccadilly does not qualify as an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Okay.
It is a cafeteria, which is maybe another category, but Piccadilly, for our purposes right now, is not in the game. Good call. Not in the same category.
Jeff also going the old Shoney's breakfast buffet. Shoney's breakfast buffet off to a sizzling start this morning
I
on
had
our
forgotten about that.
on our draft of number one buffets in which you would go. Text messages are flying in. I'll get to more of these. We'll talk some sports. JC Sherbert's coming up. Preston, if you've already missed it, Jen will get it up on the live on the podcast. Preston did a very, very, very sporty sports take on Travian Robertson.
There were three techniques and nose guards
You
and down
broke down.
blocks.
Yes, that was way too much sports talk for this program, but we've done it. We'll get to some of your questions too if you want to get into. Travian Robertson officially hired at South Carolina. We'll talk a little bit more sports. Great playoff night last night. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? Oh, I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This coming weekend, I know it's only Tuesday. I know you're probably having other things you're trying to think about, but you know what? This coming weekend's supposed to be great, and you might want to grill out. You might want to have a nice dinner with the family. You might not need to go out to it. You might just need to hit up your local butcher. The great thing about the local butcher, they know your name. They know what you want when you walk in. That's the way it is at Old Timey Meat Market. 3 locations. You can go to the South Congaree location, go to the St. Andrews location, or you'll probably run into me at the Lexington location. That's right. Over there, the incredible steaks that they have, absolutely the best cuts of meat. Grilled up a bacon wrapped filet just a week and a half ago. Absolutely delicious. They've got a great selection of pork chops. I always talk about the chicken skewers, the Italian chicken skewers. Fantastic price. Maybe you want to even go the breakfast route. They have incredible Southern biscuits. We were just talking about the Shoney's Breakfast Buffet. You can't beat the Southern biscuits that you can pick up from Old Timey Meat Market. And again, one of the reasons they stand out is because of the customer service. You walk in the door, they know your name. They know what you want. It's just like being back in the olden days when you knew who your butcher was. Your butcher knew you. You walked in, and it was a great relationship. Go visit Old Timey Meat Market today. Again, 3 locations from which to choose from. The South Congaree location, the Irmo location, or, of course, that Lexington location that I absolutely adore. I'm telling you what, some of my best friends right there. Walk in that door, I know what I can find. Maybe I even want some spices, maybe want a little bit of sauce to go with some ribs that I'm fixing that I've picked up from there. Whatever it is, Old Timey Meat Market has got you taken care of. Get out and visit Old Timey Meat Market. Visit your great butcher friends. You will not be disappointed. Go visit Old Timey Meat Market. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. This week at Macy's, find great deals just in time for Mother's Day, like fragrance gift sets from her favorite brands and new bags from Coach and Michael Kors. Plus, get contact-free curbside pickup or pick up in store today at Macy's.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry, it's your last chance to shop SpringFest savings at Lowe's. Get additional $300 off select major kitchen appliances when you spend $1,996 or more. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/3 while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Get your mom an insanely clean home from the cleaning pros at Zero Risk Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Book online at ZeroRiskColumbia.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-485-6262. 800-485-6262. 800-485-6262.
It's the final days of Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, and we have laundry appliances that fit your space, your needs, and your budget. Like a new Samsung laundry set with large capacity, so you spend less time doing laundry. And with Sensor Dry technology to automatically optimize time and temperature, you'll spend less energy on it too. Final days to save up to $600 on this Samsung laundry set in-store and online during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. Ends May 3rd.
Sponsored by Family Dollar.
Express your love for mom with great deals from Family Dollar. Surprise her with something special like gift cards, casual dresses, and scented candles, all beautifully packaged with gift bags and handmade cards at a great price. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for another First Alert traffic update. As we've seen around the region early on again, it's another day where things have remained calm in terms of traffic flows. Nothing out there with confirmed collisions, anything causing major problems for those early morning commuters. But of course, keep listening along. We'll make sure to keep you posted. Thanks for listening, of course, in general. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
I was trying, boy, did I end up down a rabbit hole by myself during that segment, because just for those of you that need it, I was going to give you the scores since we were on buffet, but I was going to do it AC Slater like on Saved by the Bell, and I was trying to go back and find the episode where he had to do, I think it was the school radio
station.
Yeah,
He was terrible.
he was awful. I was trying to go back and find it, and I was going to send it to you to play it because I was going to be like, Sixers 119, Celtics 115, Nuggets 97, Suns 87, Braves 9, Mets 8, Mets 5, Braves 3. I think didn't he have a horn too that he would play, like a horn? I forget, but I was going to give you, just for those of you who are like, that's it, I tuned in to listen to Sports Talk this morning, not buffet discussion, but a lot of you have clearly decided that we need to just continue on the buffet discussion. Tony and Gilbert says Duff's Smorgasbord and Casey way back.
Smorgasbord,
not a buffet.
I feel like that word is no longer used in existence. That word stopped use in 2000.
Tony also says, I've heard the fried pork chops on the buffet at Farm Boys in Chapin are fire. He gives me the emojis. He doesn't even say that.
Yeah, that's good.
David said, did the Quincy's down here not have the breakfast buffet? I know the one in Anderson did. Yes, no, the Quincy's in Lexington. Breakfast.
Somerville too, I can confirm.
Fire. Absolutely fire. And then Shoney's. A lot of you, Shoney's making a nice run this morning with the number one pick.
Shoney's is up there.
Shoney's is made with their breakfast buffet, which I believe is somewhere still available. You can go and find out. We'll get into that. JC Sherbert, and I'll read more scores. AC Slater, like hour 2 on the way.
KTFM, Eastover, Columbia.
What's up, y'all? This Gamecocks wide receiver Juice Wells. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Not even the most well-kept homes are immune to termites. So call Dodson Pest Control. With over 75 years of experience, they will make sure your home is looking good inside and outside your walls. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months, or save $300. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Pioneer Farm Equipment in Orangeburg, 1 mile off of I-26 exit 154B, or at PioneerFarmSC.com.
If you've seen them, you need to call me. Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. If you're seeing weeds in your yard, let Midlands Landscape help you get rid of them. When you sign up for our Midlands Green Treatment Program, our lawn experts will give your turf the fertilization it needs while conquering the weeds, ensuring that your lawn will be green and lush. So give us a try. Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Schedule an appointment today at hateweeds.com. That's hateweeds.com.
The demand for your used car is at an all-time high, and it's never been worth more. Herndon Chevrolet needs your trade. We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy ours. And to prove it, we're willing to beat any written offer by $500. That's right, we'll beat any written offer by $500. Visit Herndon Chevrolet today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile.
803-630-5929 for more details. Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409 or visit their website at broomheating.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. Did you know that all Wi-Fi is not created equally? Did you know that if you have a Wi-Fi extender, you could actually be losing more than half the speed of your internet? And did you know that Wi-Fi in your home could be outdated and not as fast as it should be, or that you want it to be? Integrated Media is installing the latest and most secure Wi-Fi available, and it works everywhere, from the garage to the kitchen to the bedrooms and even in your backyard. What's your favorite streaming app? Do you want to stream sports, movies, old classic TV shows? Integrated Media gets you the correct equipment that works for you and your family. Want to watch college baseball games but don't see them on regular cable? You can stream all of them from services like ESPN+, Hulu, YouTube TV, Disney+, and more. Integrated Media can guide you to the perfect setup for you and your family to get everything you want all the time. Call them up at 803-948-8327. See them on Facebook and Instagram. Get the latest in Wi-Fi technology that works everywhere from Integrated Media.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, celebrating the incomparable Silverado for the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Find yours at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Here's the problem with that 9-minute average. Once you run in 9 minutes, you're no longer trotting. You're running.
Yes.
Also a problem.
So this is the cocky trot. I'm gonna need you to slow down a little.
With Bill Gunter.
I'm an
It is
expert.
the
I'm
trot,
an expert
yes.
in trotting, and that is not trotting. That is running, full on, very close to sprinting.
And Jen Jensen.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Oh, underrated category on the buffet list. The pizza buffet.
Now we're talking to some experts.
The pizza buffet, very underrated category when we get into the buffet category.
Shout out to Pizza Inn on 78 in Somerville.
That's people are weighing it. No, was Pizza Inn a franchise, or was it just every city had their own personal Pizza Inn?
Great question. I don't know. I know we had one in Somerville growing up.
Like we had one kind of down in West Columbia on what I think is #1, I believe, that divides off it. So there's a gas station there. Gas stations take up everything now. But yeah, pizza. I think every town had a Pizza Inn, and I don't think they were necessarily connected. But
yeah, I got you.
Like, I don't think it was a franchise. It was just somebody, and everybody, just somebody in that town grabbed the Pizza Inn name and went with it. Pizza Hut buffet, CC's. CC's is a polarizing.
Yes.
Yeah. Still in the
just a
game,
specific-
which is wild. They're still in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just feel like CC's is something that you age in and you age out of at various points, right? So I feel like, unfortunately, I think I'm about to age into CC's with my toddler. I think this is a thing that's going to be happening soon. I'm assuming there'll be like birthday parties and things of that nature. And then, so that's one phrase. And then I also aged into CC's when I was like 15.
Right.
When you're
'Cause-
broke and
yep.
you just want to eat a lot of food. So I think there's two kind of different phases.
I think you're absolutely correct. And yeah, and it really, it is a specific buffet.
Yeah.
You know, it is not just, I mean, it's just
CC's?
pizza. Yeah. You know, it's not like you're going to get wings and ribs and all that kind of stuff.
Well, but there was a Pizza Hut buffet not far from where we're at that I used to go to. There was another one on 378 across from Lexington Hospital. Zach says Cece's was good until I got over the age of 12.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I think there's ages, because there was a Cece's within walking distance from my house in Somerville, and so the Get Along gang would just gather up about $2.99 or whatever it was and walk to Cece's and waddle back. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good time.
Yeah, they lost money on you guys.
For sure. Sure.
Curtis weighs in, says Pizza Inn in Somerville provided mini meals for me and my family.
My man, 78. Yes, sir.
Yep. At Duke's Barbecue, Ridgeville. Great fried chicken,
Ooh,
great hash.
Now we're getting local. Duke's Barbecue is legendary for sure.
Yeah.
Let's bring in somebody who might have some expertise opinion on this. JC Sherbert. Growing up, JC, was there a buffet? Was there a go-to buffet for the Sherbert family, or for you yourself?
You down with OCB? Yeah, you know me. You down with OCB? Yeah, you know me.
Absolutely.
Old Country Buffet.
Old Country Buffet. Yes, sir.
There you go. Yeah, I mean,
OCB. I can't explain it. I'm sorry. I made up a parody song to OPP about the Old Country Buffet. I don't remember the lyrics, but look, honestly, I lied. I just want to sing that song. It was okay. Growing up, we had a Ryan's and a Quincy's in our town, and in Spartanburg. And Ryan's came first, and Western Steer, but Western Steer kind of fizzled out. So, of those buffets, like we hit those on Sundays, quite a bit, or maybe even like weeknights. And then, pizza wise, I heard you talking about Cece's. I always kind of thought you get better pizza at the 7-Eleven, or the Spink, or whatever gas station you want to go to. So I tried to steer clear. But Preston's right. When there's little kids around, it's kind of hard to beat the value. But I'll throw something at you that was kind of pre-Cece's, Mr. Gaddy's. You remember Mr. Gaddy's? Gaddyland, whatever. Did y'all have a Mr. Gaddy's?
No, we were Lexington. Lexington, we were Western Steer, or Quincy's. Later, Ryan's came along, and I think I've been told it's out of business now. Let me ask you this: a lot of y'all are going. A lot of people are putting down Cece's Pizza Buffet, but I'm going to throw out, I think, what's controversial here: pizza, thin crust, or regular crust.
Bill,
because
what are you doing?
Because you thin crust at a Cece's Pizza Buffet, top notch. I'm completely down for.
Again, these are great philosophical questions that we need more time to parse out. You're talking to a eater. I love this thing.
I'm a thin crust guy myself.
Me
But
too.
when you compare it to like Pizza Inn or Pizza Hut on the buffet, I just don't know. I mean, I'm not willing to go and claim that the CC superiority over Pizza Inn or Pizza Hut on the thin crust end. Now, Bill, I'm with you. If I'm at a CC's and I have to be there, I'm eating the thin crust, but I would rather not. Especially back when you consider back in the day, the Pizza Inn and Pizza Hut buffet was only $1 more, and you got that salad bar. I mean, you had a lot of extras. I just never thought CC's tasted good. I mean, it didn't taste bad, but it didn't taste good. It's kind of very, very bland. I don't know.
You said the main caveat of this whole conversation, especially about Cece's, is if I have to be there. More than likely, if you're at Cece's, you probably have to be there for some reason or another. It's not many choice. Not time you're going to.
I was okay with Cece's.
And it might even be that you have to be there because you're broke, but there probably is a reason why you're at Cece's.
Back in college now, I'd roll in there. You know, if I had to go out that night, and I had $20 went a long way when I was in college. I had $20. You plop that $3.50 down, tip 75 cents, which is a big tip back then for a buffet waiter, because I was one at one point at Pizza Inn. You know, you still got 15 left over. That's a $1 beer
money.
That's a good night. Right?
I'm just gonna say, based on the feedback we've gotten, there's 27. It's 7:08. There's 27 unread text messages. Unread, just on our thing. I will contend that the buffet, for the majority of us, the majority of the listening audience, 708, a lot of you are driving your kids to school, and we're a little bit older now. We're probably between that 35 and I'll say 60 again age range is about what I would say is about the meaty part. The buffet for us was a staple of growing up.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It was a staple. A lot of you are waiting because there's like race.
The kids like to call it a core memory.
Yeah, like a lot of you are waiting and just throwing stuff out. JC, I'll say it today. I don't think kids today. I took my kids to a buffet this weekend. They looked at me like I was a moron until they figured out the dessert portion of it. Like, I can go back for more cake and more whatever I want anytime. Like
chocolate mousse, man.
Well, Lauren wasn't a fan, but the pudding apparently was not good.
Oh, it wasn't as good. Okay.
It wasn't good. They
Tell Beasley to get off her pudding high horse.
Yeah, she was very, 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 very all of a sudden like negative about the pudding. But the Oreo cake was delicious, and that had everybody's attention. 803-404. Again, people are just. I'm telling you, this is something that I came to this past weekend when I took the kids down to the seafood buffet, and I had to explain to them, you can go as many times as you want, whatever you want. It's up there.
I think COVID killed off half the buffets in the country.
But I think this was. I think this was JC. I think this was happening pre-COVID. Do y'all agree?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
I think the buffet was falling off. So
a bigger theory, Bill.
Best buffet I've ever been to is in Vegas, though, at the Wynn. My gosh, that's not even a buffet. It's you can call it a smorgasbord. Really.
There goes that word again. 2 times in 20 years, I've heard that word.
Smorgasbord.
Good old smorgasbord.
We'll have to get down that path later because we used to host one as a fundraiser for our band in high school. Yep.
803-404-6100. Paulie says, ask Preston.
What's up?
Buffet. Does he remember the family restaurant in Somerville?
I do, right over there off Main Street. And that was one of those places that rotated names. I believe it was a Po' Boys at one point. I think it's a Chinese restaurant now.
So kind of one of those unlucky plots of land where nobody could keep something rolling.
It never quite
works.
works.
Wait a minute. Preston brought something important. Under no circumstances do I go to the Chinese buffet anymore. I was in Gainesville, Georgia in 2002, working at the newspaper, and read the health report because we publish those in the paper for the Chinese buffet there. I can't go back.
Ignorance is bliss, JC. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, man. Because I used to be all about it. Now I'm just I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm like, no.
He knows too much.
And that's probably stereotypical of me to stereotype all. But I was just like, man, I started thinking about all the MSGs and how full and disgusting I felt after I ate there. And I was just like, no more. But hey, look, I don't have any problem eating. That's just one of those things I don't do anymore.
Marshall weighs in. Is a good Chinese buffet beneath this discussion? Jasmine Chinese buffet on 2 Notch. Game changer.
Listen, we're talking buffet.
When we start throwing out the words game changer, you better be bringing your A game.
We're talking buffets, so there's obviously nothing beneath this conversation. We're at the culinary floor, so we're game. We're game. Throw it out.
The culinary floor. I love it.
803-404-6100. We will ask JC about the Travian Robertson hire. So for the one of you out there who doesn't want to weigh in, the one singular person. 37 text messages right now. One person. Sports talk show. Talk sports. Sir, ma'am, or whoever. Yeah,
we'll be back.
You don't get the program. You don't get the program. You don't understand what we're doing here. And then Matt, who just says chicken livers on a KFC buffet. Top-notch cuisine. Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
David comes in with the KFC buffet as well. Oh, boy.
Now, that's not bad. That ain't bad.
803.
I'll give it about a C-.
803-404-6100. We will get into the new hire there for the South Carolina football team on the defensive line when we come back. You're listening to J.C. Sherbert, Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Kevin Heisey's. Kevin and I we're on the same page this morning. I like this. He says Pizza Inn on 12th and Augusta Road. He even put the bomb emoji in there. Good use of the bomb emoji. Went regularly in the 1999 and 2000. And then I tell you what, delicious, absolutely delicious. PTM, just at the top of their game, much like Zero Res is. You can contact Zero Res today, 803-262-4020, to schedule your cleaning day with that patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep your carpet, your rugs, your tile, your upholstery all insanely clean and keep it cleaner longer. Don't do the cleaning yourself. Let Zero Res handle everything. Again, give them a phone call, 803-262-4020, or you can schedule online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Again, that phone number to call them, 803-262-4020, or you can schedule with ease online, ZeroResColumbia.com, with that patented Zero Res technology, ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep the carpets, the rugs, the towel, the upholstery all insanely clean and keep it cleaner longer. Zero Res will not let you down, just like a great buffet. You will not be disappointed. 803-262-4020 or online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by WeatherGuard Truck Boxes. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Tremaine Edmonds. In March, the 25-year-old former Bills linebacker got an early birthday present in the form of a 4-year contract with the Bears that will pay him a reported $72 million with $50 million guaranteed. I'm Boomer Esiason.
WeatherGuard, the name that stands for unmatched security in truck boxes, is now making a name for itself on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series circuit. WeatherGuard is the official sponsor of the safety and security work crews at Speedway Motorsports tracks across the country. Engineered to meet the demands from job sites to race sites, WeatherGuard truck boxes feature double welded seams, weather-tight seals, and high-security latches and locks. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Learn more at weatherguard.com/truck.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The fastest road to $2 million is South Carolina's first $20 scratch-off ticket and features exactly what the name says. The best odds to win $2 million in SC Lottery history. Get your ticket today while supplies last. See SCEducationLottery.com for game odds and details.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
What should we do with the broke propeller? What should we do with the broke propeller? Don't look at me, I wasn't driving. Thank you, you're not helping. I don't even know where you bought this boat. You told me that you loved this boat. That was before you wrecked the boat. Well, now you've made it awkward.
Next
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Actor Russell Crowe.
I went to a Snoop Dogg concert in Melbourne with my 16-year-old son, and he knows I'm there. We've been friends for quite a while. And he goes, I just want to do a shout out. He knows who he is. Are you not entertained? My 16-year-old's eyes just popped. And I was like, Snoop, I owe you for that, man. Thank you very much.
That's as cool dad points as you can possibly get.
That's a 3-pointer, right?
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And taking a look at your traffic conditions out there. Fernandina Road at Woodcross Drive. Also Stone Ridge Drive, she says, at Greystone Boulevard. An accident there as well. Forecast for today. I can tell you anything's warmer than being in Illinois the past few days. Goodness gracious. We love living in South Carolina because today's high, 74, 71 tomorrow, 75 on Thursday. Right now, though, it's 50 at 1075 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
$7:20 on a Tuesday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, and of course JC Sherbert joining us. And we were talking a little bit of buffets. Y'all are weighing in left and right. Anonymous texter just goes with the best buffet ever is in Pinehurst. It seems like it covers about an acre. And then a couple of y'all weighing in. Alan, our good buddy Alan Gordon, now out at River Bluff, says Captain George's Seafood Buffet, hands down the best buffet. Prime rib with seafood.
Solid pick.
We did something like that on Friday night with the kids. Real quick, JC, wasn't a buffet, but a couple great events last week for Carolina Rise as you guys put together some football players. Speaking of food, Vershawn Lee. Now, Jamie Bradford said yesterday that Vershawn Lee's Charleston Wing Eating Championship is in a little bit of a
dispute, maybe.
Yes, because the wings were too hot. That who was it? He said Ja'Kai Moore, I believe. You want to weigh in on this?
Yeah.
That the Vershawn Lee Charleston Championship is disputable.
I don't know, man. You know, Ja'Kai Moore is probably one of my favorite players that I've been dealing with NIL of all time, and so is Vershawn. I mean, it's kind of crazy. They're from both those guys are from Northern Virginia, so I don't know. I just, they're real cool to get along with. But Ja'Kai, it wasn't like he was second the first night. Ja'Kai kind of ran out of steam a little bit. I don't know if he had eaten before or what. But he had some bad luck in Columbia. They kind of, slowed him down. And then in Charleston, he was at the end. And man, he had all kinds of distractions. He had this lady at the end of the table blowing on him for him and handing it to him. He's like, "No, man, I'm not eating that." And so I thought maybe we need to give Ja'Kai like a hard luck consolation prize. But I still don't think anybody was going to catch Vershawn. His technique and pacing is unrivaled. I think I put that on Twitter. And he, in Columbia, it was like, I guess Mo Kaba actually participated in Columbia right there with him. And he just kind of, and Nick Gargiulo was in it too. And then next thing you know, it's like one of the watching a racehorse. You know, he comes around the side and takes the lead and blows everybody away. Secretariat kind of is what I call. I messed up the word. I called him Sagittarius, which is not a horse, but Secretariat is. So he won both of them, and we had a blast watching that. And Bill, it was a buffet. They had a barbecue buffet at both locations. So it was a buffet. But anyway, great event. Columbia one was a little smaller, but a lot of VIPs. I can't thank the baseball staff enough. I think all those guys were out there. We had Ethan Petrie out there, Jack Mahoney out there from that, Kerry Rich and Eddie Shannon from the basketball staff, men's basketball staff were out there. And then, you know, the baker's dozen or so football players that participated with us were top notch and tremendous. And the same in Charleston. They all showed up in Charleston. We had about 150 fans in Charleston, so it was a larger fan presence down there. And certainly, you know, just from a feel good, everybody had a great time, which is what you want to do when you have an event standpoint. It was awesome. So certainly to be our first couple of events as an organization, I would call it a success. And, you know, that's, you know, due in large part to the Gamecock Nation out there and the response that they always give when there's something like this. So certainly very happy about it. Next event will be a VIP tailgate, and it's a little bit different. It's not a fundraiser. It's more of a give back for our members, probably in Charlotte before the North Carolina game. But I'm going to wait and see what time that kickoff is, because, you know, you're not going to throw something like that at noon kickoff. But I don't think it will be. I think it'll be afternoon at earliest, and probably a night kickoff. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody again, and certainly thank everybody for supporting Carolina Rise.
As it pertains to that North Carolina game, you look at it, that might be the premier game of the weekend, JC. I've said it. If you look at the rest of the schedule on September 2nd, as things stand, to be quite honest, I guess they could go, and they likely will. I would assume game day might go to Fort Worth for TCU, Colorado. You'd have the runner-up, the national runner-up, and of course you'd have Deion Sanders' debut there for Colorado. But South Carolina, North Carolina, because of Drake May, Spencer Rattler, is a huge deal. But Travian Robinson, that defense, Preston and I have been talking about, struggling to stop the run the last few years. Your take on bringing back home a former Gamecock?
Well, I'll say this. I think Jimmy Lindsey was a great man and a really good coach. And certainly he came along at a great time for that defensive line group, because, you know, they were kind of a group that needed more confidence, and he instilled that in them. And I think he did a good job overall, you know, kind of getting Zach Pickens to where he was, you know, played himself into the third round, you know, and things like that. I do think Travian Robertson is an upgrade in my eyes from a lot of different standpoints. And it's simply because his style of coaching the D-line. I mean, and Bill, you and I sat out there and watched how many practices during the Spurrier era?
Yes.
When Brad Lawing was
many.
I mean, you watch that D-line work under Coach Lawing, and it makes you tired. I mean, you're like, man, these guys are moving. It's fast-paced. It's correcting technique constantly. You know, Brad Lawing obviously has a long track record of developing and all that, and maximizing players' ability. I mean, just kind of, even a guy like Clowney, look at the drop-off when Lawing left versus Deke Adams' first year at Carolina in production. So, and look, I'm not just saying, oh, he's a Brad Lawing clone, therefore, i.e., ergo, he's going to be good. You know, he's got his own track record. I mean, Georgia State and Tulane, even though they're located in the South, it's not easy putting together high-level D lines at those schools, because everybody's going to take chances on a defensive lineman in recruiting, so you don't get the drop down sometimes. So you got to kind of find and develop and all that. Jordan Strong came to Georgia State as a walk-on wide receiver and turned into a sack-leading in the country, an SEC player that doggone good. I think we're all going to see this year. Well, that was Travian Robertson. You know, Georgia State led the country in sacks 1 year under his tutelage. I think 2021, the year after. Then he go to Tulane, and Tulane is 2-10 when he gets there. Last year they were 11-2, beat Southern Cal in the bowl game, and what really did it for me, because you know a lot of times in the American Conference or the Sun Belt for that matter, you know, they're offensive leagues, right? You know, they're like, oh, they probably got a good quarterback. They're scoring a bunch of points, and it's not really about the D-line. Well, at Tulane, it kind of was. They went to Kansas State. You mentioned TCU. Well, last time I checked, Kansas State beat TCU in the Big 12 championship game and won the league. Tulane went out there and beat them in Manhattan, and the whole key to the game was Tulane's defensive front dominated them. And it's tough to recruit defensive linemen to Tulane, just in general. I mean, because you not only have to, you're not only like not the most popular program in the South, you have very high academic standards that you have to meet, and most of the good defensive linemen that have higher academics, they're going to Notre Dame or wherever, because those, you know, the Dukes of the world, the Northwesterns of the world, you know, those schools are also kind of D-line stars because of their location. So it's a brutally tough gig from that standpoint. And he went out there, took what they had, and made the most of it, right? And they not only were much improved, they were the strength of the team. And so there's tangible evidence that this guy is a superstar defensive line coach. Beyond the fact that he played for Lawing, and Lawing taught him what he knew coaching-wise, beyond the fact that he played at Carolina. You know, if his name, I told somebody the other day, I think his name was Hunter Renfro, and he happened to have had this career trajectory coaching the D-line, I think I'd be, you know, equally as positive about him being hired at South Carolina. You know, so I think it's a home run. I think it's one that I feel like the D tackles, because that's what he's going to be coaching, the interior guys. The D tackles on campus right now are very good with a lot of potential, but you know, I think they're all kind of maybe like 85 to 90% of the way there to get to where you want them to be, approaching that ceiling. I think he can get that number closer to 100, and you're going to see, you know, Boogie Huntley and Taki Hemingway and TJ Sanders, Nick Barrett, and all those guys thrive. Elijah Davis under him, and I think from a recruiting standpoint, he's very, very good as well with his ties to Eastern North Carolina and the state of South Carolina and Georgia and throughout the South. So, you know, I think it's an exciting day that he's coming home. You know, I think with the way this has worked out, and him and Sterling Lucas both co-coaching the entire D-line, you've got two really good coaches there and really good recruiters, and I think that's what you need if you're going to compete in this league. And you know, I just can't say enough good about that hire.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. There's your Sporty Sports Talk. A lot of good takes there on Travian Robertson. We'll get back into some of those. A lot of you are weighing in on your buffet takes, which are strong to say the least. John saying, we live amongst the king of all buffets, Sheely's, Pulley Bones, Saturday breakfast buffet. All others bow out now. Very, very into it there for Sheely's buffet. So we've got Sports Talk and Buffet Talk. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got a take? Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line. Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen. 803-404-6100. On your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Preston here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle your job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. So if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows or mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Hi, my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ecton and his law firm ended up getting us an offer in compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ecton Law Firm. They did an excellent job for us, and if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Oliver Gospel Mission needs your help on May 2nd. Donate to Oliver Gospel through the annual Midlands Gives campaign, and Jim Hudson Automotive will double your gift up to $50,000. We are transforming lives together through the power of Christ's love. Donate at olivergospel.org. olivergospel.org.
The power of Christ's love. The power of Christ's love.
For more than 15 years, Integrated Media has been Columbia's leader in home theater technology, and now they invite you into their new Experience Center to see for yourself the kinds of TVs, sound systems, security systems, and more that they can install in your home or on your patio or pool deck. TVs from Sony and Samsung that feature the latest in 4K quality, amazing surround sound from mounted speakers, or the flexibility of a Sonos system, amplifiers that utilize the latest from Dolby to bring everything together, and it's all controlled from an easy-to-use app on your phone. Call 803-948-8327 to set up a time for the Integrated Media crew to come to your home or to make an appointment to visit the Experience Center and truly take in what today's technology could be like in your home. Are you building or remodeling? Integrated Media works with contractors for a seamless installation, and they're always available to answer questions and concerns. Indoors, outdoors, one room, or the whole house, plus Wi-Fi that works everywhere. Call 803-948-8327. See them on Facebook and Instagram and get the best in home theater from Integrated Media.
Oliver Gospel Mission needs your help on May 2nd. Donate to Oliver Gospel through the annual Midlands Gives campaign, and Jim Hudson Automotive will double your gift up to $50,000. We are transforming lives together through the power of Christ's love. Donate at olivergospel.org. olivergospel.org.
The power of Christ's love. The power of Christ's love.
Give Mom a timeout with special gift card savings at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. Get a free facial gift card when you purchase a spa package. Search for the location nearest you to explore their exclusive online gift card sales.
The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Stonehurst Drive at Greystone Boulevard have an accident there. Also, a disabled vehicle, I-20 eastbound at Monticello Road. Could be slowing things down just a little bit, so be careful in that area. Beautiful forecast for the first part of this week. Sunny and breezy today, 74 for the high. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 71, 75 on Thursday. Right now, it's 50 at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
So I'll be 41 tomorrow. 41 tomorrow. I'm taking the day off. I'm leaving Preston and Jen in full charge here. But I've never heard of this, but Tim weighs in. Here's your third time that you've heard the word Duff's Smorgasbord back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Duff's Smorgasbord coming in from Tim there on our text line, our Firehouse Subs text line.
Key point back in the day.
Back in the
I
day.
don't think smorgasbords are around anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It was just fun to say, though.
It is. Smorgasbord.
Chris going best buffet is the BAM Express in Winsboro, a hidden gem. You keep mentioning it. It's not going to be hidden much longer. 803-404-6100. Richard, go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you know that the term smorgasbord is actually Swedish?
Okay. I did not.
There you go. You learn something new, kids. Each and every morning you hopping out the car. Richard goes with Jackson's Southern Kitchen Buffet when it was in Richland Fashion Mall on the corner, Forest Drive and Beltline. We put them up against anyone before they closed. There you go.
A mall buff. Two things that have been bygone: the mall and the buffet. No longer with us.
And Jeff gets the show. Jeff is he says, for anyone complaining about the lack of sports talk, welcome to the off season. This is the most creative, organically flowing radio program you'll ever experience. Oh yeah. Throw it to the tight end.
Perfect.
100%.
803-404-6100. The co-pilot weighs in. That's the bar. Okay, Barn Express. So I got BAM Express, Barn Express.
Okay.
We'll narrow it down. You got a question for JC about the hiring process?
Yeah, JC, this hiring process seemed to be pretty seamless and pretty expedient. Do you have any insight into how that went down?
Yeah, it went pretty quick. Travian had interviewed before, I think, when they did hire Sterling Lucas. And of course, he was part of that 07 class that Shane Beamer sort of helped orchestrate when he was here. I don't think Beamer was the recruiting coordinator yet. I think it was David Reeves at the time, but Shane was on staff. And so certainly he's familiar with Travian Robertson. I guess, whenever there's an opening, head coaches are always going to kind of look and see how they can optimize their staff, and you have flexibility on that defensive side where, Sterling Lucas could take the D line or the whole D line, and you could maybe add an inside linebackers coach, whatever. It really was a situation where from what I'm told, the best avenue or path to take to maximize the staff would be to hire him, Travian Robertson, and he quickly said yes. So that was kind of a layup, I guess, if you will. I don't think there was any other serious candidates, and quite frankly, I don't, nor should there have been. Right? I think that when you look at his track record, that's an obvious choice for the job, and so this one did go quick. I think that happens sometimes. I don't think there's any correlation between a search going a long time and a search not going a long time between how good or bad a coach is going to be. But like I said, with his track record, I think it's kind of a no-brainer if he can replicate what he did at Georgia State and Tulane at South Carolina with infinitely more resources and a lot more talent at his disposal. I think Gamecock fans are going to be really, really happy with that position moving forward.
Usually when you make a change or a change is made, because this isn't something Shane Beamer tried to alter. This is something that was kind of, Jimmy Lindsey took another job. There's a player always that seems to benefit the most. Preston, do you remember this back in the day? Do you have a person who just a player that benefited the most from a coaching change, new voice, new technique, something?
Well, yeah, that's what I've been thinking about this the whole time. What it's going to be is just a adjustment to the new coach's style. And that can be either positive for some people or negative for some people. And I don't know enough about Travian or Jimmy in their particular meeting rooms, but sometimes when a new coach, let's say if this new coach is all about tempo, we're gonna teach on the run, we're gonna move, we're gonna be doing all types of things at practice. That may be a little bit troublesome for somebody who likes to be talked to and likes to be taught and likes to slow things down a little bit. So maybe if a guy's not necessarily in shape, this might be pose a little bit of an issue for him. And what's also interesting to me, JC, is that they're not going to have spring practice to sort of figure each other out. So they're kind of going to be jumping into the fire starting in August.
I guess, JC, where I'm going with that is there a player that you think this, because we heard a lot about the development and the progress of TJ Sanders through the spring. Obviously, Xavier McLeod's a freshman. Felix Hickson, I believe, or I can't remember if it's Henson or Hickson, but another freshman is a big guy. Jamal Weiss is a kid who looks like he's really kind of blown up to about 320 pounds. Is there a kid that you look at, a player now that you look at and go, okay, this could benefit them more with the hiring of a new coach? Maybe this motivates or changes how they were their trajectory?
Nah, I think it benefits all of them. I just think he's a proven. I mean, and this is a personal opinion. And again, this is nothing against Jimmy Lindsey. I mean, Jimmy just got one of the premier jobs in college football. I mean, at LSU, you can walk out of Tiger Stadium and throw a rock and hit 3, 4, 5-star defensive linemen in that area. It is as we say, talent rich up and down the I-10 corridor through Louisiana and into East Texas. But I think it affects all of them in a positive way. I think this defensive line, I don't want to say it's underachieved, but you always get the sense, man, it's like all these guys could be just a little tad bit better. So, and Jimmy did a good job with them. But I think a guy like Travian, who has a proven track record of absolutely getting the absolute maximum most out of his players, those guys aren't present in all of, at every school. You've got some guys in coaching that you look at and go, well, he can take, it's like Torian Gray. Torian Gray can take a 5-star guy or a 4-star guy like a Cam Smith or a Kendall Fuller, or name your player, and get him to the NFL. And he can take a 2-star guy like Darius Rush and, bring out the list of Virginia Tech Hokies that were lightly recruited that he got at the NFL. And so that's who they're getting. And that's rare. It's not something that's at every program. So I think it impacts all of them in a positive manner. Preston's right. There's going to be some adjustment during the preseason that has to be made because they're used to one voice and now they're getting another. But, with the new rules where you have like more time with your players to kind of quote unquote go over things and practice during the summer without the ball, it will be less, I think, of an adjustment than if we were under the old rules where, you're with the strength coach all summer and then flying blind and you go into practice and, you've got 3 weeks to get used to this guy. I think there's plenty of time with the way it's structured now in college football to get that done. And there's work to be done. I mean, you mentioned some of the younger players like Weiss and Martin. Demetrius Watson's already transferred out. Felix Hicks, and those guys need work. And Xavier McLeod, if he wants to play first year, he needs work. And I think it's very beneficial to those guys having Travian there. Really Elijah Davis too, whether he's an end or whatever, however they use him. That's a guy coming from JUCO. He flashed in the spring game. You got to continue to get him up to snuff and maximizing his ability because he does have a lot of it, within the scheme of this defense.
803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2. JC Shurburtt joining us. Preston just giggling along. He's hearing things as a defensive lineman he loves. We'll get into that. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We appreciate you listening to 107.5 The Game. And because you are a loyal listener, you might have noticed the last few weeks that the game hasn't sounded as strong coming through your speakers. Or you all of a sudden can't pick up the station in certain places around the Midlands. Well, a few weeks ago, our main transmitter was damaged during a storm. It'll still be a few more weeks until we get the parts to have it fixed. So if you're having issues listening to 107.5 The Game, we encourage you to go to iTunes or the Google Play Store and download our app. In a couple of clicks, you'll be hearing the game loud and clear. Thanks again for your patience and for listening to 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Life matters. Life is not fair. Recently, I conducted the funeral of a lady who should have enjoyed another 30 years of life. The toughest part was looking into the eyes of her 10-year-old and trying to make sense of the tragedy. One of the Old Testament writers summarized life this way: I have lived long, and I understand two things that are unfailingly true. God is loving, and God is powerful. Sometimes situations cause us to doubt that perspective, but it really is something we can count on. We live in a broken world, but all through it we see evidences of God's love and His power to help those who will call upon Him. The day will come, the Bible assures us, when God's love and power will set everything right and every tear will be wiped away. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Visit us on the web at christianlifecolumbia.com. And remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Give Mom a timeout with special gift card savings at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. Get a free facial gift card when you purchase a spa package. Search for the location nearest you to explore their exclusive online gift card sales. We get it. Your search for a new career seems never ending until now. Here's your chance to join the Cumulus Media digital sales team and put that search to an end. You'll be able to showcase your growth with a position where the harder and smarter you work, the more you'll earn. Cumulus Media Columbia is looking for motivated, energetic, and tech-savvy individuals who are looking for an exciting opportunity. Whether you are new to sales or an experienced rep thinking about the future, go to this station's website and click on Cumulus Careers to apply. Cumulus Media Columbia. Boost your career today.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select L Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by Pioneer Farm Equipment in Orangeburg, 1 mile off of I-26 exit 154B, or at PioneerFarmSC.com.
The demand for your used car is at an all-time high, and it's never been worth more. Herndon Chevrolet needs your trade. We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy ours. And to prove it, we're willing to beat any written offer by $500. That's right, we'll beat any written offer by $500. Visit Herndon Chevrolet today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Smile. 803-630-5929 for more details.
Get ready to save with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds for $49.99 a month, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, and a free Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Go to spectrum.com/save more and use the Spectrum One savings calculator to see how much you can save today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Are you looking for a lasting gift of jewelry for someone special? Hey, this is Scott for Traditions Fine Jewelers with some exciting news about Southern Gate. Once again featured at our store. Southern Gate earrings, rings, pendants, and bracelets are now back in stock at both locations with over 100 pieces to choose from. Southern Gate's jewelry are crafted from the gates of Charleston as well as gates from around the cities and towns across the country. Come by today and see our exquisite Southern Gates collection. Traditions Fine Jewelers, your gift-giving headquarters.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
We have an accident, Greystone Boulevard at I-126. Also, I-20 westbound just after White Pond Road. Ramblin' Road between Princeton Road and Highway 302. We also have a report of a tie-up, as well as Stone Ridge Drive at Greystone Boulevard. 74 will be our high today, 71 tomorrow, 75 on Thursday. It's 50 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
$7:53 on a Tuesday morning, May the 2nd. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, J.C. Sherbert, and Jen Jensen as we roll along discussing buffets and football. South Carolina, those two really go hand in hand, by the way. J.C., real quick, from what you know, Preston's laughing, and I'll kind of let you two share in this, but the difference in demeanor between Jimmy Lindsey and Travian Robinson, what can you share? What do you know about the demeanor, the type of coach he'll be? And I don't mean like, is he going to be over there like jumping around like Craig Fitzgerald did and doing kind of crazy antics, but just bringing a different vibe to that defensive line room?
I haven't. I want to be fair, because I haven't exactly like watched a bunch of practice like I did back in the day when it was open. But my understanding is it's a little bit more fast paced, and because honestly, with the way, Lawing coached D-line, and my understanding is Travian coaches are just like him. That was the whole point of it, keep those guys constantly moving, when you kind of compare it to after Lawing left, what Deke Adams was doing there, and it was a little bit more, I don't want to say they were standing around, but it was a little less high-paced. And so I think you're going to see a little bit more of a faster pace with practice and more of a, I don't say more of an emphasis on technique, because Jimmy Lindsey was a really good recruiter, but maybe more of a different style of teaching it, than maybe what the players were used to. I like I said, I think Lindsey did a good job. You can't, really question the guy that got the LSU D-line job. But I do think in terms of, what's worked at this program previously at a very high level, I think Travian will be an upgrade in that department.
Preston, how long does it take for a coach to come in and put his stamp on a position group? We've talked about head coaches coming in and putting their stamp on the program, the culture as a whole, as Shane Beamer's done. When a new position coach shows up, how long do you think it takes?
Yeah, it's gonna happen very quickly. It's gonna happen very quickly. It's gonna happen within the first week of practice, because as JC was alluding to, and as I've said, things will be different. There's a new sheriff in town, and whatever that means for this particular group, some folks will either fade or rise very, very quickly, depending on how they adapt to the new style of coaching. And it's not just physical; it's the new verbiage, it's the new training, it's the new ways to watch film. It's the new way you're being coached. There is a lot of opportunity. Some of the older guys will have to either get used to new coaching, or they might welcome the opportunity. Some of the newer guys who haven't necessarily been coached by Jimmy because they've been on red shirting, or they just haven't been around as much, this will be what they know. So it'll happen. It'll happen fairly quickly. You'll see differences in how the team is preparing and the different techniques that they'll use.
JC, very quickly here, we've got just about a minute left, but recruiting, how does this impact recruiting in your opinion?
I think it's Jimmy did a really good job recruiting at Carolina, but I don't think there's going to be a big drop off, honestly. Travian is from Eastern North Carolina. He went for the Gamecocks. He played in the NFL. He can spot talent, obviously, because of how he maximized things at Georgia State and Tulane. So I think the Gamecocks will be in great shape there. I think, and look, I'll say this: everybody Shane Beamer's hired is a good recruiter.
True.
So I have no reason to doubt that this is not going to work out just well on the recruiting trail. Even some guys that have maybe surprised all of us. I think Marcus Satterfield was a good recruiter, right?
That's true.
I don't have any question that he's going to be just fine in that.
Buddy, we'll catch up with you next week. Always appreciate it. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Preston. See you guys.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Hour 3 on the way.
This is USC linebacker Mo Kaba, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Breathe easier in your home with Zerorez Air Duct Cleaning. It's the only company I trust to get my home insanely clean. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get $30 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR30 when scheduling online at ZerorezColumbia.com. Spring and summer are just around the corner, and that means enjoying your backyard pool. But don't let it be dirty. It's time to contact Corley Pool Solutions, 803-445-8109. They will inspect your pool equipment weekly to make sure it's operating properly. They will test, treat, and maintain, and they'll do it all at a flat rate cost, and that includes the chemicals. It's actually more affordable for you to use Corley Pool Solutions than to go to the pool store yourself. So call them today, 803-445-8109. Have you been debating if you should replace your old HVAC unit? What if you could get up to $5,300 off the cost of a new unit today? Call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500 for a free estimate to see what AAA Heating and Air can do for you. Let their comfort advisors inform you of the current Inflation Reduction Act, which can offer a huge tax credit. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hey, it's Terry Ford from 107.5 The Game. And, geez, would have been a week now, a little bit over a week, that Jay and I were at Chubby's in Blythewood. And I ate so much food because it was so good that Jay was amazed. And I told Jay, I haven't eaten this much food in forever, but it's so good. I'll be honest with you. After leaving Chubby's, I didn't eat for like 2 days. Well, we figure by this coming Friday, I'll be hungry again. So what better place to go to get filled back up than Chubby's in Blythewood? Halftime show will be there broadcasting live from noon to 3. It's Cinco de Mayo at Chubby's. The Chubberia is back. The biggest, baddest burger ever. May 5th to May 7th. If you're saying, hey, Tara, what's a Chubberia? Well, just go to the Chubby's Facebook page and you can check out how massive this burger is. And while you're at Chubby's also, don't forget to try one of their great craft beers on tap as well. Chubby's in Blythewood. Come hungry.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the Power of Love Chevrolet, celebrating the Chevy Silverado for the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Come by and feel the power of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
South Carolina will be getting ready. The baseball team will be getting ready for a series that weekend against what? Oh, no. The problem is I'm looking at April. That's why there's no March 20th. That's why there's no March. That's why there's no Friday the 24th.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
That would explain exactly. I was like, what is wrong with this calendar? Like, why is there no? There was a Friday the 21st and a Friday the 28th, and I was like, this is not adding up at all.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
(8:02) on a Tuesday morning, final hour for me this week. Preston and Jen get the whole thing to themselves tomorrow morning.
Woo-hoo!
Exactly. That's my welcome back present to you, Jen. Here, just take it yourself. You and Preston, just run with it. Have a good time. I'm sleeping in tomorrow morning, not dealing with you. Yahoo. Actually, I'll be taking the kids to school and listening between 6:50 and 7:45ish, 8 o'clock.
and then going back home to go to sleep. But yeah, it's birthday week, and I'm gonna enjoy it to the best of my ability by doing that. But man, I might even throw in a buffet and a couple people weighing in. Gamecock fan on our live stream saying, Preston, how about Duke's Barbecue?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think somebody mentioned that earlier, but Duke's Barbecue down in Somerville, outside of Somerville, I should say, top notch.
Yep. York going with me and my friends helped bankrupt Duff's Smorgasbord in Casey in the 80s, along with the USC students. DC going Price's Buffet in Gilbert. Price's never had the buffet. DC, send that back in. Let me know when that is, because I'm kind of working myself into a pre-birthday buffet day here for lunch.
There you go.
And and then you got Hudson's Buffet.
Love, yep, Clint.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Clint does an incredible job. Hudson. And this is where maybe when we reconvene, probably not next week, but we'll reconvene next week. But coming up here around Memorial Day, we really start to break down the buffet. We really get into a very intellectual discussion because, yes, you do. The Chinese buffets are delicious. You've got the barbecue buffets, totally different category. Pizza buffets that we've covered. And again, on that one,
breakfast buffet.
It's so many different categories from which to choose with. I'll still say on the pizza buffet, I think you've got to go thin crust.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't even eat as much of the crust. Like I might eat the edge and stuff like that, but I want the stuff that's on top.
Yeah.
The crust is a delivery mechanism for the good stuff. So like my plate usually looks pretty full of crust. So
what is the go-to pizza buffet pizza? Are you going just pepperoni? Are you going like a sausage and mushroom?
No,
are
I
you
think
going
experiment
supreme?
a little bit. That's your chance to try things out.
Yeah, that's what it's for. It's your chance to experiment. Try something out because maybe later on when you get your own individual pizza,
correct,
you can get that.
I might not try a supreme or get a supreme pizza. I'm not going to invest in that, but I'll do it's kind of like, when you go to the ice cream place, you sample, something to decide if you want that flavor.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you're doing at the buffet, in my opinion.
I'm just marveling at how my life has made it to this point. When I was maybe 10 years old and I was really going hard on the buffets, little Husky Preston, and how I've made it to this point.
Defensive line coaches across the Low Country were looking at you in the Pee Wee League, being like, "We got to get that guy on my team."
This conversation was the seeds were planted for this conversation in many buffets years ago. And I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad I could be here for this expertise.
So kids know that everything you experience could be a building block for something in the future.
It could be building something in the future for sure.
Cece's, this comes from Day. Cece's mac and cheese pizza was always superb as a middle schooler.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's definitely an age gap to when it was superb as a middle schooler for sure. Mac and cheese pizza as a middle schooler sounds about right.
Anonymous texter going in with Mac Daddy's Restaurant in Cross, and
shout out to Rod Wilson, by the way, Cross alumni.
And Marshall going one. He says, I can't think of the name of it. The top of the Round Holiday Inn in Charleston, overlooking the harbor, has the best breakfast buffet you'll ever have.
Infamous Holiday Inn for sure. I need to get Langston to talk about that Holiday Inn. In between Charleston and James Island.
I know exactly which one. I think a lot of us do. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in on that. Some of y'all just weighing in. Your best buffets. Joe Mars in Lancaster and DeBrule's in Camden, coming in from an anonymous texter there as it pertains. So yes,
I love the local flair of these conversations.
I do.
Too.
Yeah, you got, because there's something to a buffet where you have to cook it properly. You can't just serve it.
And so now I'm thinking, we've been doing the beer passport. Maybe we need a buffet passport.
That's true.
Just saying.
Preston's all in.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for the sales team. Call me anytime.
There you go. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. Jen's idea. Yeah, keep sending them in. Your best. Maybe that's just where we do a buffet tour of this show. Just goes on a buffet tour during the summer.
How can my life get better? It can get better, kids. Just telling you. Just keep on trying.
We'll show up at your favorite buffet for the morning show.
But I have to be a part of this. So, like, Ed Bird, if you're listening, I'm going to need you in here because, I got to rock and roll with the guys.
Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes at 6:45 on the buffet tour of the early game. Nothing.
I can do it.
Nothing better. 803-404-6100. Going back to the question that I presented, we'll get into this a little bit more in the next segment as well. Yeah. It's a strange thing, right? Like, I don't think Jimmy Lindsey was criticized, but it was a lot of people, I feel like, now that were like, yeah, that group could be better. That group could be better. And he's leaving, and I feel like there's like, okay, I'm happy you're leaving, but I don't know what next is. How quickly does it take for a coach to come in and implement his will, his coaching techniques on a position group that would improve this group to be better at stopping the run?
I think it can happen very quickly. I honestly do, because I think there's going to be a change in guard. There's going to be new techniques, new voices, new conversations that are going to be had, and Travion's going to have it the way he wants to have it. And it's also very much easier to build on, to be blunt, when you were not having success, because I can just turn on the film and say, do you want to listen to me, or do you want to continue doing what you were doing? And it's a very, very simple conversation. If you want to continue doing what you're doing, you're free to do that, but this is what that got you. Maybe you might want to do this a little bit better. I'm sure he might have a little bit more tact than that, but it's pretty simple. Either you do what you're doing and you get that, or you get with this and you can get something new.
We'll get more into that side of it. Preston, having been in there, you went through a coaching change.
I was through three position coaches.
All right, we'll get more into that, but I see where we're going for one show. I'll go ahead and prepare you, and we'll bring this guy in. First-time texter, long-time listener, first-time texter, Mason Zandy. Says, Farm Boys, my hometown of Chapin. On our live stream, Steven, going with Latta, South Carolina. That's where you got to start, Schuler's Barbecue.
Woo! Let me tell you something. Every time Langston and I go to Myrtle Beach, we intentionally detour up through Dillon, through Latta to go to Schuler's, and magnificent.
See, there might be a summertime week.
Magnificent.
When things slow down, we have to have a barbecue bracket, a pizza bracket, a Chinese bracket, a breakfast bracket, and then just an all-around bracket. You can see these things coming on this tour. This radio station just sets it. This show in particular, we're evergreen.
Listen,
we're always.
I know you want to go to Buc-ee's. I know you want to go there, but just go about 20 more minutes up 95 and hang a right and go to Schuler's. I promise you, it's worth it.
It's a top 3.
Very possible.
Okay, that's no problem. Yeah, Mason. We'll have to have Mason, and we've had him in before. He knows where the studio's at. We can get him in. Mason's a big boy. Might be a professional eater.
Mason can go to work, I'm sure.
He can put in some work,
but Mason might. I haven't seen Mason might have turned into one of those skinny guys now. You know how sometimes those old linemen get skinny. I don't know what Mason
was already big, tall guy. Was always skinny. Mason,
we have to check his credentials. I like to call him.
He is married now, I believe, and that can also slim. It goes one of two ways. It either slims you up.
Yes, it does.
You don't stay the same. It's never staying the same. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. A couple of you doing that. Hot Rod Hewitt just saying, I feel you, Preston. I thought Husky was a name brand when I was 11.
It is.
We got to go to the Husky section.
Okay.
Yeah, the Husky section. I don't know if they do that anymore for the kiddies, but that was where I shopped.
You don't body shame the 10 and 11-year-olds.
They did for sure, because the Husky clothes did not look like the other clothes. Very limited selection.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
This Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. Aaron Rodgers' relocation to New York has also had an impact 8,000 miles away in Green Bay, of course. Talking about Rodgers' successor, Jordan Love, Packers coach Matt LaFleur said, it's hard to lead when you're not the guy, and he knows he's the guy now. The Pack selected Love 26th overall back in 2020. Now he's really on the clock. I'm Boomer Science.
CBS Sports Radio.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
During Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, you can get Vigoro mulch at a new lower price of 3 bags for just $10. Planting a garden? Mulch helps soil retain moisture. Sprucing up your walkway? mulch can help prevent weeds from creeping in. Potting some flowers for your porch? Liven up your planters with an accent of year-long color with red, brown, or black mulch. Hurry into the Home Depot to get Vigoro Premium Wood Mulch now, 3 bags for just $10. Offer valid in-store only, March 5th through May 17th. Color selection varies by store. Limit 60 bags per customer while supplies last.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? Good news. There's a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. Call U.S. Tax Shield, A+ rated with the BBB. 800-391-5063 for your free consultation and let U.S. Tax Shield protect you from the IRS.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry, it's your last chance to shop SpringFest savings at Lowe's. Get additional $300 off select major kitchen appliances when you spend $1,996 or more. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/3 while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
The new Smokin' Triple Stack is now at Firehouse Subs. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and slow smoked brisket, it's one of their meatiest subs ever. To top it off, a portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders across the country. So at Firehouse Subs, they don't just make subs. They make subs that are big, bold, and craveable. They make their subs differently because their subs make a difference. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Getting rid of pests is not a do-it-yourself project, so call the 75-year professionals at Dodson Pest Control first. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for another First Alert traffic update. As we've seen around the region early on again, it's another day where things have remained calm in terms of traffic flows. Nothing out there with confirmed collisions, anything causing major problems for those early morning commuters. But of course, keep listening along. We'll make sure to keep you posted. Thanks for listening, of course, in general. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
So what's it like? Take us in the locker room. It's one thing to lose a head coach and kind of the voice. But I'm assuming for a defensive lineman like yourself, your relationship is more with your position coach than it is with the head coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you go through these changes. I say losing a close friend. I guess there are times certainly that certain guys like, oh, thank God that guy's gone. Like I don't have to. Didn't agree with him. Didn't like him. Was going to transfer. What is it that those players could be experiencing today that the guy who recruited them, or I say the today, but the guy that recruited, because fans, you read the text, you read our Firehouse Subs text line, people are thrilled about this. Travian Robinson's coming to town. It's kind of like we talked about back on signing day. Oh, we got the big recruit. We got Nicholas Harvard. Somebody's going, well, I was going to play this year. Like, hey, I'm still on campus.
Yeah, there's always somebody that's, I don't know if this is great news for everybody.
We're taking it from the standpoint of the fans where everybody's like, this is great. We're bringing somebody home. There are players there that are like, man, I had a bond with Jimmy Lindsey. And from all I've ever heard and read, he and his wife did a great job of like bonding with the players and having them into their home and treating them like sons. What was it like? Take us through the locker room situation.
Yeah, it can be a precarious situation for some of the folks, especially the older guys, say like Alex Hunley, somebody who's played with Jimmy for a long period of time, who has developed a special relationship with him. There could be some hesitancy of the new guy coming in, and he's kind of trying to tell you different things. And you look, I've been here longer than you have, so there's always this sort of not fight for dominance, but how are we going to do this? And I went through that. I had 3 different position coaches. I had Charlie Strong at the beginning, at the early parts of my career, and he set the foundation. He was the one that recruited me. I was used to hearing him in the film room. I had grown accustomed to his techniques. I was used to his tics. I knew when he was upset. I knew when he was joking. I knew when, you just learn different people. And I said it during break, but it's no different than when you get a new boss at your job. And you may have liked your old boss, but then you come in and the new boss does some things differently that you like, and they do some things differently that you like. I kind of liked it the old way. And that's sort of what they're going through. So when we always talk about, preparing these athletes for life, this is more life lessons than anything else, because you will have to work for different people who have nuances and tendencies and things that they like and dislike. There will be an adjustment period for all of the athletes in there. I would say I had Charlie Strong. It was awesome. We had Coach Lounsbury, bless his heart, but he could not control that defensive line room that we had in that mix. We had some characters, and he was not fit for that job, and it showed. It showed in our play. Later on, we got Jappy Oliver, who was a little bit better, but even still, he wasn't necessarily. He had come from the Air Force Academy, so he was used to coaching a certain type of player. And let's just say we didn't have that type of player, and he struggled with that also. So there can be a lot of variables that will be changing as we talk about it.
Do we overlook the age, what can be an age gap? Travian's a relatively young guy, I believe. I don't have a birth date right in front of me.
Or that probably put him at like 31, 32.
I'm going to say 32, 33 is where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
Probably young guy. I don't think Jimmy Lindsey was that much older, but I would say mid-40s. You mentioned Charlie Strong was relatively young when he was here. I believe Paul Lounsbury was late 50s, early 60s. How much does that? Because this is a group, again, if South Carolina wants to win 9 or 10 games this year, which is not unrealistic, let's be clear about that. I think that's one thing. If that's a realistic thing, if they want to win that amount of games, they have to improve at stopping the run, and this is a huge hire.
Yeah, the age can be a factor. It might be a factor, but again, there are some older coaches who do just perfectly fine in any room. I go back to the conversation. This is bringing this all full circle, but I remember when we was watching the women's Final Four and Kim Mulkey was talking about coaching, and she said, I like to coach personalities. I got a big personality. They have big personalities. That's fine. We can bring them in. What I wonder is, what is the personalities of those players that are in the room? Maybe they were more apt to, it seems like, this is just from the outside looking in, it seemed like they were more apt to Jimmy's personality, which was a little bit more easygoing, a little bit not necessarily big or boisterous. They kind of went about doing their things on a daily basis. Whereas, just to bring it back from the one we know, Brad Long is a personality, and Brad Long can handle a room full of personalities because he is one. And so I wonder how that works as this plays out with Travian in the group that's coming up.
That group, again, we'll talk obviously more about it as we get through the summer. We get to SEC Media Day and into August and everything. That group has to perform. I mean,
there's no way around it, Bill. And I know we're trying to delicately dance, and great for Jimmy that he's went up as far as the coaching ladder is concerned.
LSU's a premier job.
There's no doubt about that. He's gone up and he's advanced, and that's great for him. But the fact of the matter is, this team has not done well at stopping the run, and in particular, the interior defensive line has not necessarily been as effective as they need to be if we want to go to accomplish these higher goals.
803-404-6100 or you can weigh in on our live stream. Sterling says, don't forget Sweatman's Barbershop in Holly Hill.
Sweatman's fire. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anonymous texter.
A lot of low country people weighing in. Appreciate y'all.
Yes. Well, you brought a whole new group.
Low country contingent.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
The Thunderbird in Florence. We've got there one. KT sends me just the link to Price's Barbecue. Appreciate that.
Thunderbird is a landmark that I've seen. I've never been to the Thunderbird yet, so I need to make sure I get that done.
Anonymous texter goes with breakfast buffet at the Grove Park Inn in Asheville. Richard weighing in, just saying, hearing the noises Preston makes when y'all talk about certain foods is the funniest thing ever.
Listen, this is years of research. I'm here for it.
And Mason Zandy weighing back in. Don't insult me, Preston. Big man for life. There you go.
Appreciate you, Mason.
803-404-6100. Kerry Tharp coming up since I'm out. Jen, how did we do yesterday? The race got moved. I will admit I did not check it. Where do we stand after? Did we get the race in yesterday?
Yeah, we did actually. And I was driving back from flying back into Charlotte. And as I was driving back, I got
Which
to
were you doing? You were
listen to the race.
driving and flying for you is about the same. The same speeds are really
pretty close. Yeah. But no, I didn't have any pit stops or anything. Didn't have any tire changes or didn't even have to fuel up. So that was kind of nice. I could keep my speed going.
Uh-huh.
But no, Kerry won the race.
Yeah,
and Truex.
And I have a beef.
Good.
I have a beef, and I have some reckless speculations, and I might be accusing my good friend Kerry of some shenanigans.
Good. I
I'm
did that
anxious to hear that.
Did that to Reggie Anderson last year. So Kerry
Well,
Tharp coming up
So, in fact, I have the sheets I'll bring into you. But yeah, so with Kerry winning, Kerry is sitting in first at 43 points. And then Preston's at 39. I'm at 32. Bill 31. Reggie at 30.
I was right there. Okay.
You picked Larson, and he got caught up in a race, or caught up in a race. Yeah, he was in one.
He was in a race.
He was. But he got caught up in some
Also, I was reading
shenanigans.
There's a lot of beef going on out here.
Chastain, man, he is there. We're gonna just hear something about he's been pounced on in a back alley or something, because I think people are about over Chastain.
Entering. We need a board up, kind of like the Garnet Trust board that's behind me. We need a board up of just like a ranking right here of top villains.
Villain board?
Mhm.
Yes, we just need a villain board of who is there, because it sounds like Ross Chastain is working his way up of
he's
overall.
going to get his watermelon block knocked off. Mm-hmm.
Like it.
Watermelon block. Knocked off. Yeah, there you go. You only hear that kind of stuff on the early game. You're listening to 107.5 The Game. Preston, Bill, and Jen. We'll be right back.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know, in today's world where technology seems to be moving more quickly than ever, it can get a little confusing on exactly what product might be best for you. And just like your car or house, every so often you need to tune up or quick repair. Integrated Media knows this, and that's why they've introduced their Smart Service Plan. With just one click or call, you can let the crew at Integrated Media know your issue, question, or problem, and usually within minutes, they'll respond with a fix and get you and your family back to watching your favorite teams and shows, listening to your favorite tunes, or playing your favorite games. Additionally, the Integrated Media Media Smart Service Plan provides customers with regular check-ins to make sure things are running smoothly. Plus, they'll automatically upgrade software so you don't have to worry about whether you're up to date. Integrated Media staff has all the tools necessary to keep your system out front of the ever-changing landscape. Home theater, commercial-grade Wi-Fi, and the service to keep it running smoothly. That's what sets Integrated Media apart from everyone else. 803-948-8327 and online at integratedmediainc.com. Integrated Media, watch, listen, control.
Give mom a timeout this Mother's Day at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. Buy a Mother's Day spa package and get a free facial gift card. Mom deserves to restore, relax, and reset. Visit any of their Columbia area Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations or search for the location near you to view their exclusive online offers. Restrictions apply. See spa for details. Give mom a timeout at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Get mom what she's begged for all these years, a clean home. And mom deserves nothing but the best, which is Zerorez carpet and air duct cleaning. Only Zerorez cleans with ZR water, proven to clean better than detergent without any residue left behind. Give your mom the gift of clean. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129. Book online at zerorezcolumbia.com.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Just how does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Suddeth Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs. Well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you became a customer? Give them a call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SuddethAuto.com.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune in to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists, Sunday mornings at 10. Join Pat as he talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 10 to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby. Securities offered through Arcadios Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arcadios Wealth. Preservation Specialists and Arcadios are not affiliated through any ownership.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, everybody, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for another First Alert traffic update. As we have looked around the region, continuing on into the morning, getting past sunrise, of course, we've seen things still remaining calm out there with general traffic flows, the normal backups around the Columbia area. But other than that, nothing confirmed causing major problems. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Eight zero 6100 here as we roll along on a Tuesday morning. Jen Jensen back. She and Preston will have it all taken care of tomorrow morning as I take tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday off. We'll all reconvene together on Monday. So we're going to go ahead and get Kerry Tharp in here coming up in about 10 minutes and catch up with him. Unbelievable. Now, we are scheduled, Jen. Jen is working on this. We're all very excited. I'll go ahead and kind of spill the beans a little bit. Next Friday, the 12th, we are scheduled to be down in Darlington getting ready for the Goodyear 400 there for Darlington, one of the great events in our state. Obviously, great events, sporting events that takes place. Jen and I did mention this off air. You want a true reality television show like a survival with Bear Grylls type reality show? Put us in a camper, the three of us in a Winnebago, one bathroom, and we have to survive each other Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday. I feel like by Saturday, I feel like 3 days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have to survive the three of us just in a camper in the infield of Darlington. I feel like by the end of it, Jen would have war paint on, like shirts would be just ripped, like we'd have it would just be an absolute zoo of a reality show if the three of us had to try and survive that. But Jen, Preston's, I'm assuming you've never been to Darlington.
I have not,
or let alone the infield.
So fun.
And Jen, I mean, it is if you live in this state and you like sports, you like competition, you like fun and partying a little bit, that's something to go to.
Yeah, I mean it's a historic track. It's a great one. It's fun if you get a chance to a couple times a year for charity. They will do something where you can do laps on the track, and that's super fun. You can only go like 70, but but it's still that's just kind of fun to kind of get the feel of the track and see kind of what they're experiencing, and but yeah, it's just plunked in, well, I don't say plunked, but it's just kind of in the middle of the country. I mean, it's just, there's not a whole bunch around it, which is kind of funny about some tracks in general. Cause like, okay, so I'm going to the Indy 500 at the end of this month. Yay. But that's another track where literally neighborhoods surround it. So you're going through neighborhoods to get to parking lots. Now on the other side of the track, it's a little different, but just the dynamics of around there and how the people become so invested, and so obviously the Darlington community, it's just all about the race weekend. It's really fun.
I'm trying to think of the tracks that I've seen. I've seen Darlington, obviously. I've seen Daytona, Tennessee. There's one in Tennessee. Is there one in Tennessee, or maybe Alabama? What's the one?
Well, there's
Alabama's Talladega.
I've seen Talladega. I've seen Talladega. So I think those are the three tracks that I've seen in person. Oh, Charlotte also, and I'm always struck by how big it is.
Yes.
Just how grand. I guess you just don't. It doesn't look that big on TV. It's
Right.
one of those things that is bigger in person than you think on TV.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just because like in Indy, I sit kind of between the pits and the first turn, so I can see the first turn, I can see the second turn, and if I stand up and look down, I can see them coming off the fourth turn. But that's like it's massive. Some of them are massive, but you need to do a track tour, especially like at Charlotte, because of the banking, and they'll actually stop the van so you get the feel of, because typically in some tracks you have to be going at least 55 or something like that, or you'll just slide down. So that kind of stuff is really fun.
They did. I don't think South Carolina would never do this, and according to what I'm reading, Darlington only holds 47,000, and only is a slight word. But you remember they did the football game, Tennessee and Virginia Tech at Bristol. Now Bristol is a different.
It's a cereal bowl.
It's a cereal, so it's like you're racing on the interior, and there's no, I guess, what would you call blind viewing spots where kind of you're far away from the action.
You know, you're seeing it,
but I don't think it's just an interesting concept because again, I don't know what. I have to go back and pull up the Tennessee Virginia Tech game from. Does anybody know off the top of their head? Was it somewhere between 2010 and 2020? I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
but they played that football game there, and I think hosted about 120,000, 135,000 fans, and made it an incredible event. But yeah, Darlington coming up. Hey, we're entering that period, and we've already had the Heritage down at Hilton Head. Now you got obviously Darlington coming up, and Darlington will wrap back around to Labor Day weekend when we get the second race there. But should be a lot of fun. We'll catch up with Kerry Tharp here in just a few minutes on that. Jen has handed us the sheet now, and yeah, Kerry. Maybe it's your relation. Maybe it's your relationship with him. Maybe because he helped you navigate the media back in the day.
Absolutely.
He is turning on the Jets right now, and he is up 43-39 on you. Jen has moved herself. Jen's made a very nice run of late and moved herself ahead of me, 32. I've got 31, and yeah, we put that mean old Reggie Anderson in his place with 30 points. I'm glad we're after what I think was a very suspicious championship year for him.
Okay.
He is back to where he belongs in last place. 803-404-6100. We've been talking about sports to some extent, but also the best buffets that you've had. Hot Sauce Ross, obviously.
My man, Husky Gang Unite.
He says, used to have a breakfast group at Jerry Kelly's on Rosewood across from the Roundhouse. Great place. I'd also throw the Kingsman. Now, are we just naming restaurants? Because I don't remember the Kingsman ever having a buffet.
I don't know.
I don't know if Hot Sauce Ross is just out here naming restaurants. Thomas goes with Mama Jean's in Little River breakfast buffet. I was just down in that area of town. Anonymous texter going with Barbecue Place in Orangeburg. Can't remember the name. Hush Puppies and Mac and Cheese are awesome. Well, that's kind of how it works. Yeah, that might be Autry, one of Autry's places. Mike weighing in. Miss B's Country Buffet in Lydia, South Carolina, right outside of Bishopville.
The idea that you could be outside of Bishopville, as Bishopville is the anchor.
Yeah.
Because Bishopville is outside of somewhere else,
That's what I'm asking. Like across the state, the best buffets, just what you got. Mike, another Mike going three little pigs barbecue at the very end of Alpine Road. Hole in the wall type deal, but it's been there at least 40 years. If you haven't been, check it out.
I've been several times. I used to take my defensive line there as a treat during the summer, and they would go to work.
And several of y'all weighing in, including Quarter, Sheely's Barbecue in Batesburg. Have you been to Sheely's? Been out that way? Yeah. Yeah, that is very, very strong. Very strong. Now I'm starting to think that my lunch today, it will consist of someone's buffet. It's a matter of where. 803-404-6100. We come back. Kerry Tharp joins us. We'll get into a little bit of NASCAR. You're listening to the early game. 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, pros can save on the brands you trust. Right now, save up to $50 on select Tough Built products. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Must ask cashier to apply discount at time of purchase. Online discount is automatically applied in cart. Discount taken at time of purchase, valid through 5/5.
Palmetto Cards is South Carolina's largest hobby shop for all your trading card needs. Open Monday through Saturday at 404 West Main Street in Lexington. Palmetto Cards is South Carolina's largest dealer of sealed wax and singles, baseball, basketball, football, Pokemon, and more. Need to have your cards graded? Palmetto Cards is a grading submission center for PSA, SGC, and Beckett. They are always paying cash for your collection. Visit palmettocards.com for more information.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit CantyCanFixIt.com. Canty can fix it.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews,
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
and we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are. Madison Gant just walked in. How you doing?
Doing great, Woody. How are you?
Good. Madison, I see your trucks everywhere for Pioneer Tree Service. Tell us some of the people you work with.
We've been very busy with residential and commercial customers.
So, Madison, you're doing the State House, Midlands Tech, City of Columbia, University of South Carolina. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service. And now there's a new little Gant girl, Dawson. We got all the Gant girls in the room.
We do tree removal, stump removal, tree pruning, tree trimming, tree thinning, tree cabling, and we will raise your tree canopy.
And no matter where you live, the Gant girls can get there. So, hey, Gant girls, how do they get in touch with you?
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253 or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Gutterman offers a variety of guards for your gutter. Protect your biggest investment. Call the guys in the powder blue trucks. Locally owned and operated for 46 years. Call 791-7147. That's 791-7147.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
All-American Heating and Air's proud owners, Gene and Debbie Royer.
Oh, there's many companies that don't do background checks. It's sad to say.
A background check is performed on every employee that works for All-American.
We want to make sure that we're sending a safe person into your home and you can feel safe.
Trust All-American's family to help your family.
Check my prices, check their prices, check my word to their word.
We're a good first opinion or second opinion.
When you need us, we're there. All-American Heating and Air.
AllAmericanHeatingandAir.com.
There's no better place to catch a game on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Visit thegamecockclub.com today to secure your tickets. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everybody, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for another First Alert traffic update. As we have looked around the region, continuing on into the morning, getting past sunrise, of course, we've seen things still remaining calm out there with general traffic flows, the normal backups around the Columbia area. But other than that, nothing confirmed causing major problems. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Oh, 1 week from this week. I'd say we're doing this early. I'll admit, because I'm out and Jen holds me accountable and doesn't want me just texting in my picks. Odd you don't do that to anybody else. It's the way we handle things, but yes.
Kind of smart on my part.
Yes. 12 days, 6 hours, 13 minutes, and we tick right under 1 second now until the Goodyear 400 where Kerry Tharp will lead the parade. All right, Dell Jarrett will drive the pace car, but Kerry Tharp will welcome everybody. Kerry, try to explain to Preston Thorne. Last year, you did this for Patrick Perrette. You did a fantastic job. You took care of Patrick and his family. Try to explain the infield and just what it's like starting. What is it? Is it Monday or Tuesday? Y'all open for
No,
people?
it's Tuesday. A week from today, our campers will start arriving on property. And as the week continues, certainly there's more and more that arrive. But it's you know, as I tell people, you know, and I love college football. I always will. And college football is a 3 or 4 hour tailgate. And NASCAR is about a 3 or 4 day tailgate, right? So the folks start coming into the infield, start coming out to the other campgrounds that we have, and they set up their campsites. And a lot of them drive these big fancy motorhomes. Some of them just pitch a tent. Some of them drive old school buses. I mean, they're pretty creative in how they get everything set up there. And then for about 4 or 5 days, they just live in a little community there. And a lot of them camp next to the same people that they've been camping next to for several years. And it's kind of like a social event for them. And so that's kind of how it operates. And, you know, I think it makes NASCAR very, very unique in that aspect.
Let's all stay on good terms for one more question, because then I think Preston is going to challenge you. I believe he believes you're doing something illegal with your picks. But let's stay on good terms. Stay on good terms for just a second. If you took Preston, myself, and Jen, and you stuck us in a regular camper for Tuesday through Sunday, who do you think comes out alive? Because I believe the three of us, that's reality television. It's not going to be Jen. Jen will have beaten one of us to a pulp. That does not mean that. No. Jen,
she might be alive. She might be in cuffs, but she'll be alive.
I have an idea of who comes out of this alive. No. Jen doesn't finish the week because police will have escorted her off the premises for beating one of us into an absolute. Who do you have surviving the weekend?
Well, I mean, I love Jen to death. And Bill, I guess I could say that I tolerate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But, you know, I saw Preston from the time he stepped on USC campus to the time he left, and the man is he's a workhorse. He's a survivor. He went through 2 days, never blinked an eye. So I would go with Preston. I would go with Preston Thorne to get through a Darlington week in the campgrounds unscathed, and he'd come out of it smiling, just like he beat Clemson.
I cannot disagree. I think that is a very solid assessment.
Well, Kerry, you softened me up because I was about to throw some.
Yeah.
You just made me feel good, and now I feel terrible. But I'm gonna have to do it anyway for the sake of the radio. So,
all right,
Kerry, I've known you for a long time. You helped me navigate the waters of the treacherous Columbia media for years, and I really appreciated it. But Mr. Tharp, you made a suspicious pick last week, and I feel like we had to flag this because, according to my research, Martin Truex Jr. had a 54 race winless streak.
True.
Yes.
And then you coincidentally picked him to win. I'm wondering what's going on with that pick, sir.
Well, and I know on the outside it looks a little fishy, Preston, but let me give you a little background.
Okay.
Martin Truex Jr., that's his home track. He's from up in that area.
Okay.
He's from New Jersey, but he's kind of close to the Dover track. And he's run well there historically. I don't know how many wins he has there, but he's won there previously. I do know that. And I just felt like that this was going to be his time. And I'll be honest with you, I felt even better about it after his brother won on Saturday in the Xfinity Series. And that just, I think, solidified it, everything, that it was going to be a Truex weekend. And so, you know, and I understand what you're saying, Preston. It does look a little suspicious, but I really Martin's one of my favorites. And I just felt like it was time for him to get back to victory lane.
I will accept that as an answer. But
there you go.
But I got my eye on you.
No.
That's the best I got.
Kansas this coming weekend should be entertaining. We'll set up for heading out to Darlington next weekend. Real quick, you're in the lead. You're in the lead. You've got 30. You got 43. Preston's got 39. So give us, without making your pick just yet, give us your take on Kansas this week and what we're watching.
Well, yeah, Kansas is a high-speed, a mile-and-a-half racetrack. Not a whole lot of banking. What's interesting is to see who's won out there the last few years. I mean, it's been some drivers that maybe haven't won as much as some others, but it's a beautiful place for a racetrack. I think it's one of my favorite setups. They got a casino out there. They got a minor league baseball park. They got a soccer stadium right all there within the complex of Kansas Speedway. But
plenty of corn.
I always enjoy. What's that?
Plenty of corn.
Plenty of corn out there. I always enjoyed going out there. It's a beautiful grounds. They keep it as clean as Disney World, and so that's kind of my take on Kansas Speedway.
All right, well, let's kind of get to some picks here, and then close up with a little bit of discussion about next weekend. But with this in mind, technically Reggie
would be first.
Reggie would be first, who never sends in his pick, does not abide by the rules at all. I can't believe we continue to let him be a part of this competition. He never calls in. He never does anything, but yet Reggie would have the first.
I don't know that you've actually invited him, but anyway, go ahead.
He's technically
so your
not,
pick, isn't it?
Actually not invited at all, so I'm not. I really liked my pick last week of Kyle. I feel like back-to-back weeks I've been scarred here. I don't like where we're going with this, and I'm starting to feel a little kind of jaded. But I'm going to go with a guy who's performed well here. I'm going not out on a limb though. Give me my guy.
Denny Hamlin.
That's right. Now I'm going with my
Denny
guy.
Hamlin.
So
Denny, Jen, Denny's like his security blanket.
He is.
Completely.
If I don't know who to take, and I've got the pick, it's Denny Hamlin.
When Reggie and I are, tweeting about this, like in a private message, it's like, oh, he's got his girlfriend this week. So that's.
Oh yeah.
Very, very, very ruthless of you two. I'm glad you two are tweeting each other. I got Denny Hamlin. Let's see. That leads to you. Who are you going with, Miss Jensen?
I think it's time. Harvick's done well there. He was racing pretty well for a while at Dover. He's seen a better season, so I think I'm gonna try Harvick.
Okay. All right. That leads us.
That's a little more on the limb.
That's a little more out there. Preston, that leads us to your pick.
I'm in a tough situation here. I feel like I'm not ready to play it safe yet. I'm gonna go out on a limb. We're gonna go with Bubba Wallace.
Okay.
Well, he won in the fall.
Yeah.
Great pick. Hey, Preston, solid.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That brings us to the leader right now, Kerry Tharp. I don't know if Kerry's ever had this big of a lead in our. He's up 4 points on Preston. There's a huge gap all of a sudden between Kerry and Preston and us. Kerry Tharp, our expert, our guru, I'm trying to jinx him a little bit. Who do you have this week?
I tell you what, I'm going with a guy that needs a win because he's missed some races due to injury. I'm going with that 9 car. Give me Chase Elliott.
Okay.
I think that's solid. I was actually hoping that Bill would pick Bowman so that we could, find out how in the know on NASCAR things, he is.
No, you're all right. I'm going with my security blanket. Kerry, good luck. I know things really pick up for you over the next several days, but we do look forward to hopefully seeing you next week down there in Darlington. We look forward to being actually face to face so you can see all the laughter on our faces, all three of us, when we make our jokes.
It's going to be probably one of the highlights of my professional career, so I look forward to it.
Likely.
Anytime you get to hang around Jen Jensen, it's a highlight for somebody. And we will bring her. She is driving us down there next week, and we look forward to it. Buddy, have a great weekend. Appreciate you joining us.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Kerry Tharp, Darlington Raceway president, where we expect to be next Friday. Guys, I'm on vacation. It starts right now. Good luck.
Congratulations, sir.
Happy birthday.
Take care.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Get mom what she's begged for all these years, a clean home. And mom deserves nothing but the best, which is Zerorez carpet and air duct cleaning. Only Zerorez cleans with ZR water, proven to clean better than detergent without. The game and get 3.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. See y'all. Y'all take care. The live stream is on these two for the next 3 days. So if no live stream pulls up, I don't know what to tell you. Take care.
See you guys.
Customer satisfaction in the Midlands.